Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Sanjana and I upload videos related to planning, stationery products as well as personal development. So if that sounds interesting to you, then do consider subscribing as well as give this video a thumbs up if you're gonna enjoy watching. Okay, let's get started with today's video. I wanted to talk to you guys about how I've been using the word of the year, what are the changes I've experienced it, and what are my plans for the rest of the year, just to take some time and check in. I think it's a really good habit. Surprisingly, I haven't done this in the past. Usually what I do is I just set up my word of the year and I'm like, okay, all's well. Sometimes I forget, then towards the end of the year I remember and I just try to do a little bit of reflection on that. That's fine too. That method works really well, but I think I just want to be a bit more intentional this year, just so that I can realign myself. I can make more progress and I can experience more breakthroughs. So that is what I want to be doing. And for that, although I set up my word of the year in Ink Bucket planner, this planner is really not working for me. I have used it for, I guess, 4 years. 4 years, yeah, I've used it for 4 years. It was absolutely fine. But this year, it's just not working out for me at all. So I started using a bullet journal and so far I've been loving it, and I wanted to do a check-in in my bullet journal. So I am gonna set the planner aside and let's set up. For stationery supplies, very similar to a few of the other reflections that I did, my goals and my intentions, I am going to be using these Recollections of Floral book stickers and then Santorini designer boxes, as well as a Muji pen, my favorite pen. So I'm going to be using all of these stationery supplies, and let's get started. My plan for this setup is to sort of have this I don't know what, wreath, a circle sticker in between, and have florals around it, like popping up from the background. So what I want to do is get in as many floral stickers as I can in this theme. I've used most of it for the last two setups, and I've used this in like previous years as well. So I have very few of these stickers that I want to add in here, but let's add how many ever we can. And while I do that, I will give you guys a quick recap of what my word of the year, I mean, you saw my word of the year, that was trust, but why exactly I set it up and what my intention was, so that it'll be much easier for you guys to understand whether, okay, did I really achieve my purpose or whatever it is. It'll make more sense basically. Actually, before that, I just want to quickly mention why I use word of the year. So basically, if I'm craving for some aspect of life, or if I'm craving for a feeling, or if I feel like something is missing in my life, that is when I think word of the year comes in pretty handy. In the previous years, I've used words like tranquility because I wanted a little bit of calmness in my life. Then I have used, what other word, experimentation, because I figured that I wanted to try doing a lot of new things. I was playing a bit safe, so I chose that. Then one of the phrases that has worked out excellently well is one day at a time. That too, like, you can pick either word or phrase for the year, whatever you feel like works the best for you, go ahead and choose it. So that's the reason I choose these words. I feel it just helps me be more intentional, be more mindful about my life, and really get to the root cause of the challenges that I'm experiencing, like knowing why I experienced those challenges, rather than just accepting that, oh, probably, you know what, I'm just this way. Like, I don't want to be that kind of a person. I want to make sure whatever I'm experiencing, to just take a pause and ask my question, like, why am I this way? Can I do anything to move past that? So I just feel like that is where growth is. And I personally find, along with goals and then intentions, word of the year comes in quite handy too, because it gives you one concrete thing that you can be more intentional about rather than multiple goals or multiple intentions. These I like too, but I use a rather different approach for my goals and intentions, and I try to keep it really, really focused for my word of the year. And as you saw, my word of the year is trust. I chose this because a few years back I moved out of country and I became really, really safe, and I felt like I became safe, but I think I became very fearful. It's not just I think in bigger things, it's good that you are, like, you have that instinct of fear, especially for your physical safety, when you're walking on the street in the night or even in the daytime, you never know, right? So for all of those things, it's good. But I think I became very fearful even with the smallest of things. Like, for example, it might be even a YouTube video idea. Like, I used to struggle with this so much to get myself to actually sit down and film. I had so many of these ideas, but then I wouldn't do anything about it at all. So and I had a lot of thoughts that were just based on fear, and honestly, COVID and lockdown didn't really do any favor for that. Like, it if not anything, like, it confirmed the fearful thoughts that I had. And also the decisions that I was taking was fear-based too. So everything, like, was revolving around fear. And this, at the beginning of this year, when I took time to think about what my word of the year is, this theme came forward. Like, yes, I'm fearful. This is something that I want to sort of not get rid out of my life completely, but at least in situations where it's not doing me any good, I want to be a bit more. These stickers, sorry about that, these stickers are just so hard to take out from this sticker sheet. Okay, so at the beginning of this year, I took some time to think about what my word of the year would be, and this whole topic about me being in fear came across, and I was thinking, okay, let's choose courage as my word of the year, because that's the opposite of fear. And just doing a little bit of more digging through tarot reading as well as journaling. These two tools helped me quite a bit, along with meditation and visualization, but these two are just beyond just the value that these two tools have gotten me is just beyond explanation. So when I use these two tools, I realized that, okay, the reason why I am experiencing these fear-based thoughts and the reason why I'm making decisions based on fears is not because I'm scared or something, or it might be scared too, but there is an underlying issue of not trusting myself, or not just trusting, like, the higher power, God. And I also went through a phase of life wherein I was questioning God a lot, and I had lost belief, and I think that took away a lot of my safety net, and it didn't really help that I was living away from family, and lockdown too, like I said, just made everything, like, worse when it came to fear and being anxious. So that's the reason I decided to choose my word as trust. I wanted to welcome this feeling into my life, because most of my life, all of these things I've just experienced, I feel, in the last 4 to 5 years. But before that, most of my life, I have been a pretty, like, confident person. I've been a person who sort of didn't operate from the place of fear. I was always like, okay, let's just try this out, and everything is gonna work out. Like, I trust myself and I trust God that whatever happens for the good. So I was off that mindset and just completely crossing over to fear-based decisions and fear-based thoughts was just not working out for me, and it's very, very discomforting. So yeah, that was the reason I chose my word as that was the reason why I chose trust as my word of the year for 2023. And so far I think it's working out quite well, and I haven't been doing anything consciously in order to like work towards this trust feeling. I think that's the reason I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you know, in the past few years I've never really checked in with this. I've said it at the beginning of the year, you know, I totally forget about it, and then when I do my yearly reflection, I'm like, okay, this is why I said it, and this is why, okay, these are the changes I've experienced, and that's great. Apart from one day at a time, though, I think one day at a time I was really, really conscious, and because that phrase too was one day at a time, so almost on a day-to-day basis, I was just trying to remind myself, let's take this one day at a time. Like, let's not worry about the future, let's not worry about next month, next week, let's just take things one day at a time. So apart from that, I think everything else I've just like sort of forgotten about it and then suddenly realized. So what happens is, in the beginning, when you set up these word of the years, it just clicks, it just registers in your brain, okay, you need to be aware of this thing, and you become a little bit more conscious than if you weren't to set word of the year. So I was just living my life, you know, without really worrying about it and all that. But the conversations that I have with friends and family and my mentor, my coach, or you know, my clients, like it just because I took the time to set it up, it's just so on top of my head, and I am more intentional. Like, I don't go, even though I go to those fear-based thoughts like very naturally at this point in time, I'm much more aware of them, and I catch them like immediately. I'm like, okay, let's take a pause. Let's take a pause and slowly, you know, come back to a more neutral mindset, so that my decision-making capabilities doesn't really get influenced by fear. I added my word of the year here, and what I want to do with this setup is I want to add these box stickers, the smaller sized ones, and add some of the things that I've experienced so far, and a few other things that I want to be mindful about when it comes to what trust means to me in my life at this point in time. So I'm gonna do that, and while I do it, I'll share about like these changes that I've experienced. Also, let me know in the comments below what your word of the year is. I feel like with all of these videos, I share so much about my goals, my intentions, you know, my word of the year, my plans. I would really love to hear what word of the year you had said. And if you're interested to share more, then you can also talk about how, like, what are the changes you've experienced regarding that too. Okay, so for me, I did a journaling session for that. Like, let me show you. Like, this is the journal that I use from Happy Wagon. I absolutely like love this book, and there's a little bit of more pages left, but I journaled about my word of the year, how like the stuff that I've experienced, and I'll just talk about that too. Like I said, I set mainly because I wanted to overcome those fear-based thoughts and just the way I was thinking about things, especially I feel bigger things in life, whether it was about my career, my finances. I think that's something I think about quite a bit. Then also things like marriage, family, like kids and dog and car, and like there's all these bigger things in life. I feel that is where fear came in quite a bit. And I remember a few days back, I think it was about 2 weeks back, on a Sunday, it was really warm and nice, and I went to the lake to read for some time and to journal. And sitting there, I just had this experience of feeling completely safe and trusting, even though there are so many changes that are happening in my life, and there are so many changes that are coming in front of me, like in this year. I just sat there and feeling like, you know what, I can do it. Like, I can handle all of these things. God is with me. Like, things cannot go wrong. Whatever happens, it's for the good. I was just in this mindset very naturally. Like, it did not have to convince myself or put a lot of effort into thinking that way. And I was just journaling about these thoughts. I'm like, this feels so good and nice. And then suddenly I remembered, okay, wait, like my word of the year was trust. And right now I sit here and trust in the higher power and trust in myself that everything is gonna be fine. And that just felt so good. That was a major breakthrough. And that is when I just that was sort of a prompt for me to sit and reflect on all of these goals and intentions just a bit more mindfully, because it was just such a huge difference. That was one of my main intentions when I chose this word, and that feeling was really good. But one thing I do notice is I have these smaller episodes where I go back into that fear-based thinking every now and then, and I get really anxious, and things just start spiraling up in my head. But this, like, being mindful about this really helps me to come back from that stage much more quickly, and in a much more gentle way. So I'm really happy about that. And I think two things that have helped me quite a bit is one, I want to write the word love here. And when I say love, I don't mean in the way that society has prescribed us, like loving something or loving someone. I think it just means it's just this pure feeling that you have in you, which is not polluted by all the negative thoughts or negative emotions. So that is what love means to me, and I think that is helping me quite a bit when it comes to trusting myself and trusting the higher power. So I sort of want to be quite mindful about that and continue just being in the state of mind. So yeah, I think that's the right word. Rather than looking at love as a feeling, if you look at love as a state of mind, just being in that wavelength or that frequency is helping me. And then another thing that's helping me is respect. And respect in the sense, I'm not like I said, right, there was a period in my life wherein I was questioning God a lot, and I wasn't really believing in God. And the way I came into terms with that, I think I'm still struggling with it. Not exactly in a way that I don't believe in God at all, but I'm not in a place where I just blindly trust, and I'm not in the place I was before. So the way I'm tackling that is just by having respect for whatever that force is in life, that unknown force that protects us all. So yeah, one thing is having respect for that unknown force, and then another thing is having respect for my own self as well, like self-respect. So these are the two things that are helping me in trust quite a bit. And I feel like in this video I'm explaining all the bigger things when it comes to trust, because that experience I shared was so recent. But I also chose this word to help me like work around and overcome challenges that I face on a day-to-day basis, and smaller things, whether it is expressing my ideas or whether it's trying new ideas, even those things as well. I feel as long as I trust myself and yeah, as long as I trust myself, I think I should be fine there. But there are two more things that I do want to focus on. I don't want to use the same sticker. Let's choose this. Yeah, there are two more things that I want to focus on. I think these two things I have experienced, and I've realized it's because of these two that I'm able to get a step closer to it. But there are two more steps I feel I can take to get even more closer. And that is, I've discussed quite a bit about that in my intentions video. And one of them is surrender. And then the other one is fun. So surrender in the sense, like when things are not in my control, instead of trying to like being anxious about that, or instead of trying to hold on to something that I can be in control of, I feel just surrendering really helps, especially when you're tackling with the unknown and future and those kind of things. And when it comes to smaller things in life, I feel like having a little bit of fun and enjoying stuff, not taking things too seriously, would help me quite a bit as well. And to pack this all up, I want to use a washi tape, and I think I'll use these butterfly ones because they are just the cutest. And who doesn't love butterflies? I think this is since last year, in 2022, in one of the plan with me's, I used a butterfly themed sticker kit to create a spread, and ever since then I have been really loving butterflies. And also with, I feel like with Tatiana's art especially, there's like it's so much of birds and moths and insects, and yeah, just using a lot of her products too has made me fall in love with these creatures. They look so pretty and nice. Let me cut this off. I feel this just helps in completing the spread. And I think I might, do I want to add, I don't know if I want to add a few more stickers. I'll probably look at it later. Every time it happens, not every time, like most of the time it happens, I create a spread, like I sign off from the video, and then I realized, oh, probably I can add a sticker there or a sticker here, and then I end up adding. Anyways, I hope you found this video valuable, or if not, you just enjoyed watching. If you did, a reminder to give a thumbs up, and I'm trying to upload as regularly as I can. Right now I'm just aiming at alternative days because that's working out for my schedule. So do click on the notification bell. In case I can, I might upload more frequently as well, or sometimes I might miss a few here and there and upload on the other odd day. So yeah, give that notification bell a hit, and yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.